So, hello and welcome to Law Street Journal. Today, we have the privilege of speaking with one of the most formidable figures in the legal world, the most famous practicing lawyer in the world, a master strategist, and a legal legend, Mr. John B. Quinn. Mr. Quinn is globally acclaimed as one of the top trial lawyers and is the founder and chairman of Quinn Emanuel Urquhart and Sullivan LLP, the largest law firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business litigation and arbitration. With over 1,000 top-tier lawyers operating from 35 offices across 12 countries on 4 continents, and annual revenue exceeding $2 billion, Quinn Emanuel has set unparalleled standards in the legal fraternity. The firm has earned the formidable reputation of being the world's most feared law firm. Mr. Quinn, thank you for joining us today. It's truly a privilege to speak with you.
Well, thank you so much, Janak. That's a very generous introduction. I thank you for that.
So, Mr. Quinn, what brought you to Mumbai on this visit? Is Quinn Emanuel planning to expand its footprints in India? If so, what strategies are you considering to establish or grow your presence here?
No, we're not going to, it's not part of our plan to open an office. We're disputes lawyers after all, and under Indian rules, foreign law firms cannot appear in Indian courts. Even if they could, I'm not sure that would make sense for us. Our strategy is to form very good relationships with the major Indian firms and focus on cross-border work, international arbitration, disputes that are being resolved outside of India in arbitration centers or courts, in London, New York, or anywhere in the world. So we're trying to develop relationships with some of the major international Indian firms, founders, promoters, and the like, and trying to understand, what their needs are and how we might be able to help meet those needs.
Correct. Right, sir. So your law firm has a significant presence in tech law, technology law. Could you elaborate on the specific areas of technology law your firm focuses on and how these areas are evolving globally?
Yes, we have a very large intellectual property practice, a patent litigation practice. I think it's probably the largest in the world, near as we can tell. It's not only in the United States, but also Germany, which is the second most important forum in the world for resolution of patent disputes. And our practice focuses on not only the electronic arts, things relating to computer science, semiconductor industry, AI, and the like, but also life sciences, pharma, medical devices, and the like. We have over 200 lawyers that have undergraduate or advanced technical degrees in addition to law degrees. We represent some of the largest tech companies in the world, such as Google, Salesforce, Qualcomm, NVIDIA, and some of the largest pharmaceutical and biotech companies as well. So it's a very diversified intellectual property practice.
Very nice, sir. So how is your law firm leveraging AI to enhance its legal services, and what impact do you foresee AI having on the future of legal practices, particularly in business litigation and arbitration?
Well, that's something, of course, we've been paying attention to. We have tried to keep track of what the offerings are in the market, the different AI technologies and offerings which are tailored to law practice. And we've subscribed to and taken licenses to some of these. And it's becoming an increasingly important part of our practice. I think we're at the very early stages now of how AI is going to affect how law firms operate and how legal services are delivered. I think this is just the very beginning, but it's something that's very much a focus. We are, as lawyers, wordsmiths after all. That's what we do, and these large language models have an ability to, come pretty close to approximating at least first drafts of the kinds of work that we do. It's a very, very useful tool, and we make use of it in our firm every single day.
Right, sir. So you represent a diverse range of clients from tech giants to early startups. How do you tailor your approach to meet the varied needs of such a broad client base?
Well, I mean, some of the large tech firms, they obviously have legal staffs which are as large as some of the largest law firms, like the Googles of the world. So they can meet a lot of their needs in-house. They have in-house experts and legal expertise in different areas, whether it's competition or tax or litigation. Early stage companies often don't have an in-house lawyer at all, and so they need guidance on a broader range of issues. So in the intellectual property field, for example, which is a major practice area for us, we counsel early stage companies on what their intellectual property strategy, patent strategy might be, how to capture their innovations and inventions, how to build a portfolio which they can use not only for offensive purposes, but maybe more importantly for defensive purposes if a large tech firm or competitor comes after them. Of course, the largest tech companies have their own patent expertise in-house to focus on those issues. And so they're likely going to call on us when they actually have a ripe dispute, whether they feel their patents are being infringed or a case has been brought against them alleging patent infringement. So, I mean, it's very, very different.
Right. Your last visit to India coincided with the Bar Council of India allowing foreign law firms to enter the market, creating quite a buzz. Now, a little more than a year later, the progress seems to have stalled with only one or two law firms entering. What are your views on this development?
Since it's really not something that initiative hasn't really impacted litigation and disputes lawyers, because from the very beginning, as initially formulated, it did not contemplate that foreign law firms would have lawyers that could actually appear in Indian courts. And as I said, that's not something that really I don't think fit with our strategy in any event. I did, in talking to Indian lawyers on my last visit, it did seem like this was very controversial. There had been this announcement made, which seemed to have taken many people, many legal professionals, a bit by surprise. And at the time, it wasn't at all clear what the path forward was going to be. I have to say, on this trip to Mumbai, the subject hasn't come up a single time. My first trip after the announcement, you couldn't have a meeting with Indian lawyers without them asking about what that meant. This trip, it just simply hasn't come up. So I haven't really tracked why that is, but you tell me that's kind of stalled. I guess that's not a surprise to me.
Correct. How do you feel about India's potential and progress in becoming an important seat of arbitration on a global stage?
I think that's going to be a tall order, to be honest with you, because one of the requirements and one of the things that people look for when they look for a situs, a venue, a seat for arbitrations, is a court system where you can get quick relief. You have courts that will not interfere in the arbitration process. And from everything I hear, I'm obviously not an expert on this at all, but from everything I hear from Indian lawyers and what they tell me, it can still be a challenge to get speedy relief from Indian courts. And that's going to be something that's really essential if India is going to develop as an arbitration center. Look, I mean, Indian companies that I've spoken to, they seem to favor Singapore as a site for arbitrations, and London and other places, but those two in particular. I don't talk to many Indian companies who tell me that they've really embraced India as a situs for resolving arbitration disputes.
Right. Recently, Quinn Emanuel Law Firm increased base annual salaries for young lawyers by 18%. What motivated this decision, and how does it fit into your broader strategy to attract and retain top legal talent globally?
Well, I think what you're referring to is the NQ salaries. in particular, which had a knock-on effect for associate salaries generally in London. And as I understand it, that was really very much market-driven, competition-driven. I mean, we look to recruit the very best legal talent that we possibly can, the best people out there. Those people are very much in demand. They have a lot of choices about where they're going to go to practice law. If we're going to attract them, we have to be offering compensation that's at the very top of the market. So that was really the logic behind that.
All right. Recently, there were claims that Quinn Emanuel switched allegiances in a case involving an Israeli data scrapping company and Elon Musk's ex. How does your firm handle potential conflicts of interest and maintain ethical standards in a high-profile dispute like this?
Well, yes, that allegation was made. We don't agree with it. We that there has not been a court ruling on that, and we're pretty confident of our position on that. I think we're pretty careful on conflicts. We don't take on any matters. It's impossible to take on a new matter in our firm without running it through a conflicts database. So we're very careful about that. A file cannot be opened unless conflicts have been cleared. So, from time to time you do see these motions that are brought challenging our position, but it's extremely rare that that's upheld.
Right. So, with your extensive experience in the legal field, what is one unconventional piece of advice you would give to young lawyers starting their careers?
I would say there's no shortcuts. Practicing law at the highest level is a very, very labor-intensive exercise. There are no brilliant Einsteins that can cut through, the work and come up with ways to avoid, burning the midnight oil. So I think the piece of advice I would give is prepare to work very, very hard to get great results, and you need to be committed over the long haul. I guess that's what I would say. Be determined and be completely committed to the profession.
Right. So that was pretty much it. Mr. Quinn, it has been an honor speaking with you today. Your insights into the world of legal practice and your visionary approach to business litigation and arbitration have been truly enlightening. Thank you for sharing your experiences and perspectives with us. We wish you continued success and look forward to seeing how Quinn Emanuel continues to shape the future of the legal profession. Thank you once again for your time, sir.
Thank you very much for having me on the Law Street Journal, Janak. I'm very, very grateful. I enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you so much, sir. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.